All right, we're back. We're live here at Rockwall Ford, and we are now joined by Coach Duhan and a few players from the Heath Hawks varsity soccer team who are getting set to start their playoff run this year and maybe take it one more win further. If possible, and I know that's the goal. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining. Coach, thank you for coming here on such short
You
notice.
bet. Happy to be here.
Coach, let's talk about this Friday. First of all, it's really cool that you guys are playing a doubleheader.
Yeah.
The girls play before you guys.
We play first at
Okay,
6, and
you
the girls
play
play after us. Yeah.
and then so I think that's really cool, and I think it's going to give Hawk fans, parents, an opportunity to come out and support the entire and just make a whole Friday night of it. So we hope to see all the Hawk fans out there supporting the women's and the men's team Friday night. Coach, let's talk about this year and kind of where you started or where you're at, and what you're looking forward to.
Well, I think we played maybe the toughest non-district schedule in the whole state, and we took a few lumps in the early season, and I think it was just part of the process of this team learning how to function independent of expectations. And that. What we did last year didn't have any effect on what we did this year, and figuring out what works for us. We took a few lumps in the early season, started district on a kind of not great note with 2 ties and a loss, and then really picked it up from there. Kind of figured out what works for us, and started defending very well and scoring in bunches. So we like where we're headed right now.
Did it take some? And you started to hit on it, but did it take some learning, a little learning curve about before you realized, or before maybe the players kind of bought into, hey, we're a different team. It's a new year, and we, while the expectations are to be where we are in that state title game, we've got to work to get back there, and it's not going to be handed to you.
Absolutely, yeah. And I think that this team has, for better or for worse, like to do things the hard way. Where we come in and have to learn on the go and can't do it. Can't learn and be there in advance. And we had a talk after our last poor result, and we're like, listen, it was senior night, and we were playing a team we felt we were better than, and we lost 1-0. And we said, guys, let's look at our worst performances this season. What's been the common factor? And we all agreed it was not a serious mindset before the game, and not a great warm up. And we said, okay, that's got to change. This team obviously can't handle it. I mean, I enjoy laughing and fun and jokes and cutting up, but this team can't handle it. This team has to be serious and has to take things right and have the right mindset when we step off the bus in order to perform well. So let's start doing that.
We're joined by the men's Heath Hawk soccer team, who's getting ready to start their playoffs Friday night, and obviously the runners-up at state last year, and having the core of the team, having players back from that team, how much you think that's going to really help you guys as you start?
Oh, it will definitely pay dividends, in that we can reflect on what got us to that point last year and try to replicate it. It's not the fact that we made it there that's going to win any games for us, but we know the formula. And I think the way this team is constituted, I think the same formula applies, and we're going to go in with the mindset of, starting Friday night, that we got to defend. We've got to make sure that the other team is in an environment where it is very, very difficult for them to score, and do that for 100% of the game. It's a playoff game, and every moment counts. We talk about this every year in the playoffs, that you cannot take a moment off. You can't let yourself relax. You can't do anything. You have to be dialed in and perfect the entire time, because just as sure as that moment that you do relax, that's when the other team gets a foot in, So
Yeah, and it seems like if you can control on the defensive side and control the midfield and make it hard for the other team to get across, then things start happening for you and creating pressure on the offensive side. Speaking of defense, bio, I'm gonna say bio.
Yeah, that's
Yes,
good.
yeah. I want to get your thoughts about this season, and kind of you were there last year. What's what's been the difference, in your mind, and how much fun are you having now? You're heading into the playoffs.
This season's been a lot of fun. Obviously, we've had our ups and downs, but I feel like that's really made us stronger and battle tested. Our non-district was really difficult, but I think that's really going to help when it gets to these games, and we know that we got to defend very strong, and we've seen, like obviously last year, we've seen that how that works and that it really works. Defending 100% of the time. So we're just gonna use that every game.
This the message, may be different from last year. What's been the message, as you started trying to figure out who this squad was this year?
The message was just that we gotta be, the hardest working team. Just be the team that gives it their effort 100% of the time, and the team that, in the last 10 minutes, they're the one that looked like the game just started, not tired and on their knees.
Sam, I'd like to get your thoughts on this season and some of the ups and downs of it, and what you learned throughout the season.
Yeah, not every game has gone the way we thought it would this year. We've lost some games we think we probably should have won, and we've won some games against teams who thought they were going to beat us. But we've proved that on any given day we can beat anyone lined up against us. But if we're not careful, we can also lose a game. But we got some momentum going into the playoffs right now, and practice looks great. Everyone's flying around, and it's high intensity every single day, and it looks really good. And I'm very excited to get it going.
I'm going to chop the name up, Shalabi.
Yes, sir.
All right, so that's there.
That's it.
I did it right. And I don't do many things right, according to my wife, but that's another day. This season, and you watching this team grow, has anything surprised you? That you thought, wow, I wasn't sure about. Maybe the team coming together or some physical abilities. Did anything surprise you this year?
Yeah, when I first started, it was in summer league. It was my first time playing with the varsity, and at first it started like really slow. So I was like, I didn't really have that much hope. But then right when the season started, like everyone, there was like a big switch. Like the coaches switches, the players, more players came in, and I think we had a way better season than I expected.
New this year?
Niall played with us as a freshman on JV,
Okay.
and then did not play last year. He
Okay.
focused on other activities last year, and then came back. We welcomed him back this year for his junior year.
So
Been a big important piece for us. He played outside back. He's big on set pieces for us. Maybe the best athlete on the team. And the last two games he filled in at goalkeeper when Junior had sprained his ankle. So.
let's talk about heading into the playoffs, Sam. What's how's preparation been? Because it seems like it's been a little while since everybody played their last district game, and then some teams have had some other games, but it seems like it's been a little while. How have you gone about making sure that you keep that edge, keep that intensity?
We've had some time off, but I think it's been good for us. We were battling a couple injuries at the end of the year, and it's been good to get everyone some rest. But, practice, it doesn't even take a whole lot from me and the rest of the leaders to get everyone going. Everyone knows what we have to do, and everyone knows it's playoff time. And everyone who wasn't part of that team was able to see it and has seen the culture that we've developed around that. And everyone knows that when it's playoff time, it's time to go. So everyone's fired up and ready to go.
Bio, you guys are the big dudes on the block, right? So you're going to see people's best every night because they're like, hey, this is the team that played at state. This is the team that could have won the state championship last year. What's it been like? Wearing that and knowing that you've got a little target on your back all this season.
It's good because every team you play, they know that you're going to bring your best, so they're also going to bring their best. But, we just use that as fuel, knowing that we're going to get every team's best shot every game, and we got to be ready. So.
Yeah, Shalabi, you joining the team this year and watching and seeing, the success and everything that went on last year. Are you picking the brains of saying, hey, what worked or what was happening in the playoff run, that you can kind of look on to help you?
Well, I try not to compare ourselves to last year. I'm trying to just focus on this year's team. So I think whatever happened last year is cool, but it's not going to affect how we play. So I try to just start something new and find out what we're good at and what we're not.
There you go.
Well said.
Yeah. Coach, and just kind of rounding it all out, talking about these players and then the squad as a whole.
Well, these guys are three cores of our defense. We've got two outside backs and one holding midfielder here, along with our two center backs and other holding mid. These are the guys that we look to play a lot of minutes, and we look to do great things for us. And we pride ourselves on our defending, and these guys are there to communicate and defend and keep a stone wall back there, and keep us in every game. But when you're in the playoffs, you cannot look past the game at hand, right? We've got Saxe. That's a very difficult team. They're going to be well organized. They defend well as well. They were second place in their district for a reason. That coach knows what he's doing. They advance in the playoffs every single year. So this is a difficult first round matchup that we're going to have to be our best to win. But we look forward to it. We welcome the challenge, and we anticipate to be victorious. And we'll come out on Friday and give it our very best effort.
How tight is that? How thin is that line between a loss and a victory?
I mean, for me in the playoffs, it is very tight and thin. I mean, we demand perfection, and that's it's a high standard. But in the playoffs, that's what you have to have. And I mean, you look at our games last year. We had 5 shutouts on the road to the state championship. But it wasn't because our keepers were playing out of their skull. It was because teams didn't get opportunities against us, And we made, a small mistake against Bridgeland, and they scored. And gosh dang it, I mean, we made 2 mistakes that San Antonio Lee made us pay for in the state final. I mean, just 2 mistakes that, and when I watched the film of that, I was like, we don't do those things. Why do we do that, And I mean, you just have to stay away from that. I mean, one of the faults of soccer as a sport is that most of the time you can get away with stuff. Most of the time, if you're defending and you're lazy, the other team is not going to score because it's just freaking hard to score, So they're not going to make you pay. But we have to set the standard that we are perfect defending, and the teams don't even get the good chances, and they don't have the chances to score because that's the only way to be sure that you're going to come out ahead for us.
Yeah, so much fun to watch last year, but to Shalabi's point, it's hey, it's this year,
Yep.
and it's about making the mark for this team this year, and it sounds like you guys are ready to make some noise again, starting Friday night. And speaking of Friday night, Coach, you give us some details on the game. I know you guys got the early game.
Yes, we are at Mesquite Memorial. Both of us are playing Saxe. The boys will play at 6 o'clock. And the girls will follow at 8 o'clock. So we've asked our supporters to stick around for the second game, and I know the girls are asking their supporters to come early and support us. Our boys are going to be in the stands for the girls the second game. So as you said, I hope it's a big night for the city of Heath, and that we're there supporting these young men and women in their first playoff game this year.
Yep, can't wait to get going, and I can't wait to see the product that you guys put on the field, this Friday night, and as you guys prepare for another deep playoff run. Coach, thank you so much for short notice coming on, and we appreciate you guys taking the time short notice to come as well.